It's 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Get ready for verse 2, Electric Boogaloo.
You see the truth behind the veil, and you know that they're just looking for attention. Oh, you don't let the ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time now, light your fires for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. You show you're a phoenix. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Good morning, welcome to the penultimate deadline stream. There's only one more to go after this. It's going to be next Sunday at 1:30. It's a 3 o'clock deadline next week. Anyway, we don't need to worry about that. We have a double game week 37 ahead of us. How are we all doing? Before anyone asks, I don't have any Rashford news. I've got no idea if he's travelled. There's people doing kind of X-ray images of the bus, trying to figure out whether he was on that bus, but it doesn't look like it. He could have travelled separately if he was ill. He might not play against Bournemouth. I really do not know. I'm probably going to have to keep him. There's concerns over a few players. Rashford might only play once. Matoma might only play once. I might bring in Alvarez. He might only play once. Haaland, maybe even he only plays once. It's not a fun double game week. At least it doesn't feel like a fun double game week. It might be by the time we get into it, but right now it's not feeling that great necessarily. I'm not usually in the double game weeks or overrated camp, but this all feels very meh. Yeah. But I think, like, someone said to me yesterday, is there any point in having a team full of Brighton players? But you need to put context around it. It's not like we've just wildcarded this week and decided we need 3 Brighton players. Like most of us have had 3 Brighton players since game week 26 or 27 or 28 or whatever. So we've just carried them through. So yeah, they might be duds right now, but it's not like we have unlimited chances every week to change them. It's just the way it is, really. So like, Mitoma might be an issue for Southampton, but we haven't heard from De Zerbi. And remember, the last time Mitoma was benched, De Zerbi did say he was tired. But unfortunately, because it was a Thursday night game, we haven't heard anything from him about Mitoma. And so I don't know if there's any point in taking the risk. And if I want to upgrade Mitoma, I've got to use 2 free transfers. It's just a lot of stuff that has to go right for that. And if Mitoma starts, obviously I want him for Southampton at home. But if he doesn't, I want to get rid of him. Like, if Mitoma doesn't start, then that move of Isak to Enciso or Ferguson and then Mitoma to Mahrez, I mean, that suddenly looks pretty nice, to be honest. And then I'd only have 1 free transfer for game week 38. But if Mitoma starts, I'd rather just have the 2 frees in 38 instead. So, like, I'm kind of like you. I am feeling a bit like whatever about this game week. And also, I missed a player. Edison might only start once as well. So the only players in my team that I'm pretty confident of starting twice are Shaw, Fernandes, Estepinian probably, and then just because he's just had a rest, McAllister. Outside of that, I've got no idea whatsoever. I mean, hopefully we'll get some news on Rashford before the deadline. But it's a 3:00 game, so it's quite unlikely. Like, people will know whether Rashford's starting or not already. Team news does go out way earlier than people think, but it's just whether or not anyone wants to share it. And because it's so early, I don't like sharing news this early for games that are like 3:00 or whatever. I think Shaw was spotted on the bus, wasn't he? I thought I saw someone doing a close-up, an enhanced image. Maybe I'm wrong. Still have my triple captain. Who should I go for? I mean, probably Haaland or Fernandes this week, I would say. Already coughing like 3 minutes into the stream. It's not good. Not a good sign. Rashford to Anthony -4. I think I wouldn't take -4s for Rashford in most situations. I'd probably just hold on to him. Start Salah or Buonanotte? I would start Salah, I think. We're getting the drugs in. Yeah, I don't know if Buonanotte is going to start twice. So I'd probably just play Salah. No, I just haven't been that impressed with Buonanotte, to be honest. Start Diaz over Mitoma, Mac 10 or Wilson or Stick. Do you know what? I'd bench Wilson or Diaz, and I gotta be honest, I'm not sure I could bench Wilson right now if I owned him. It's like I said in the video yesterday. I think the only way Diaz is useful to us is if he starts twice. And the only way I think that happens is if Arsenal beat Forest and Man City draw 0-0 with Chelsea. Because if it's any other result, then either Man City have won, it's a score draw, in which case Diaz has conceded, or Chelsea have won, in which case Diaz has conceded. So, I don't know. It does feel a little bit kind of reactionary and maybe a little bit of recency bias there in saying that I would start Wilson over Diaz. I don't know. Would I really do that? It's close. It's just Wilson against Leicester at home. If he starts as a number 9, that could be another 2 goals. Can I do a captaincy poll to see how much of a risk I'm taking by captaining Bruno? Yeah, absolutely. We should do more polls, really. Game week 37, captaincy, Haaland, Fernandes. Is anyone else captaining? I'm just going to put someone else. I guess I could put Rashford in. But I don't think people are going to be captaining Rashford now. Someone else. Let's see how high this is towards Haaland. 1 free transfer, Isak to Alvarez, probably means a -4 next week. I'm probably going to do Isak to Alvarez, but that's because I got 2 free transfers. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't feel like it's that exciting of a transfer. Is there a chance he plays twice? Yes, but it does feel like quite a small chance. And even if he does play twice, it's not going to be 2 starts as the number 9, right? We know Haaland is going to play against Chelsea, and he could play against Brighton as well, which means Alvarez might just be a number 8. And I don't think he's impressed that much recently. So I'm still going to do the move, because for me, I've got 2 free transfers. But if I only had if I had this team on 1 transfer, I would probably just play Trippier ahead of Isak and just roll, to be honest with you. I did see someone yesterday, and apologies, I can't remember who it was. I think it was someone in Discord channel. They did point out that if you have Haaland and Alvarez going into game week 38, then unless something crazy happens, you have at least got the Man City number 9. Either Haaland gets benched, in which case Alvarez plays, or Haaland plays and Alvarez gets benched. So either way, you're kind of setting yourself up. But it's still not. Still don't think it's that interesting of a move if you've only got 1 transfer. What percentage do you say Haaland starts twice? I don't know, like 70, 80%. I think it's quite high. I really do. Really do. Surely Isak starts number 9 after Wilson played 90 for like the 3rd time this season. I got to be honest, the game week 36 has rattled me a bit in terms of being able to predict the minutes for Wilson and Isak. Because I did think that Wilson would be benched for Brighton, and my original thinking before the games even played, that was if he played Leeds and Brighton, surely he's then rested against Leicester, but I'm not sure they can. I'm not sure they can. They've got so many injuries in midfield. Joe Linton's if he's fit, Joe Linton's going to have to play in midfield again. I don't know, Saint-Maximin could come in and play on the left, and Isak could play through the middle. It's just the not knowing. If that happens, then all of a sudden, getting rid of Isak doesn't make so much sense. But it's all kind of what ifs, and it's really hard to predict. And I just think they've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. They need 1 win to secure Champions League football. Leicester doing it at home against Leicester is perfect opportunity. I think Wilson's going to play. Yeah, Willock is probably out as well. I mean, to be honest, I think Joe Linton, if he's fit, is going to play in midfield. So the rest of them being injured doesn't really make too much difference, because it's all about who plays on the left, really. So I don't think Isak gets benched. I think he's just going to play on the left. I don't know. I've changed my tune on that, but I think we have to go by what's happened recently. I think there's a good chance Wilson just starts again. It's not guaranteed, but we'll see. Newcastle play on Monday. That's what I said. Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So at least they got a little bit of rest. 1 free... Oh, yeah, sorry, I did that one. Rico Lewis is a differential for City's double. I mean, he's going to be a differential, but he probably only gets starts once maximum. I just don't see a huge amount of upside in the City defenders this week. None of them are particularly attacking. Not like Trent and Trippier levels. We haven't got a Cancelo anymore. And it's really hard to know who's going to start twice. Diaz and Akanji are probably your best bets. Before the title was over, I was looking at Stones. This week, if City still needed 2 wins, then my move this week would be Trippier to Stones, and I would bench Isak. That would be my move. But things have changed, so probably just not going to do it. Well, I'm definitely not going to do that. Chintam, Martial in for a -4 to play him instead of Saka. I don't think Martial gets 3 starts in the last 3 games. I think you get 2 maximum, and I don't think you necessarily get them in the double. I think there are some teams where I would take that risk, because he surely comes off the bench, right? So he probably gets at least 90 minutes in this double, maybe 100, 120. So it might be worth the risk for some people. But a -4 to play him over Saka, I'm not sure I would do that. Aaron Staunton, thank you very much. Nikhil, already on a -4. Isak to Greenwood and Grealish to Bruno. Have Haaland, Wilson, Rashford, Salah. Follow moves worth additional hit. You've already done that move to get Bruno. Fair enough. -4 for Wilson to Alvarez. Nope. Or -8 for Trippier to Kivior and Matoma to Alvarez. I don't think so. If you knew Matoma wouldn't start against Southampton, would he take a place on your bench instead of Trippier? Ooh, good question. The thing is, if Brighton aren't doing very well at half-time, there's every chance he comes on for 45 minutes and then plays against City. So I don't know if I definitely would, but it'd be tempting. I'd be more likely to transfer him out, I think. I think Ederson definitely starts against Chelsea. Brighton, who knows? who knows? But I just can't do anything with him. I've got to move. Got to keep him. Casper, thank you very much. Good thing Alvarez high chance against 5 at the back in 38. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly. Best use of free transfer: Salah to Bruno, Rashford to Bruno, or Share to Shaw. I have De Gea. I would really want Bruno this week. Can you do Share to Shaw and Rashford to I don't know about Rashford to Bruno, to be honest. I guess Share to Shaw. Just hope that Rashford plays. Should I be prioritising getting Bruno this week? Would you do Rashford to Bruno? Oh, I don't know about Rashford to Bruno. Like, it's one of those moves that when I see the question, I'm just like, I just think there's a good chance that Rashford plays today. I just don't know. I wish I knew so I could tell you. I just got a feeling that like Ten Hag just wasn't that negative about it. Like, he's ill, yeah, okay, it could affect him, but they need him to play if possible. I mean, they've just beaten Wolves pretty comfortably without him, so maybe they won't risk it. But I guess the only way I can put it is, if I could only have one this week, would I want Fernandes or Rashford? I would want Fernandes. Because you're right, he is more secure for minutes. So you could use that as an excuse to do Rashford to Fernandes, but I'm not sure I'm comfortable sitting here and saying that is a great move or anything. Any solid news on Rashford and Shaw after MEM reported they weren't pictured getting on the bus? For what it's worth, they also didn't put the Garnacho got on the bus, and we saw him get off. So there's no news, but it's not necessarily completely accurate, and they could have travelled separately. For what it's worth, Luke Shaw never seems to be spotted getting on and off buses. He's like he's a ninja. I've got Grealish on the bench. Play him over Rashford. I don't think I would. I'm not sure I'd bench Grealish either way, though. Kepa, Rashford to De Gea, Mahrez -4. My sub-goalkeeper won't play. In that case, I'd maybe be tempted, yeah, if you haven't got a sub-goalkeeper. I mean, Kepa might play both games, but it's anyone's guess, really. Take a -4 for Alvarez for Isak. Probably not, no. I've got De Gea, Fernandes and Rashford, so no sure. Can't afford Trent. Any recommendation for a defender? I mean, Estepina, and outside of that, you're probably going single game weaker, aren't you? Like an Arsenal defender, maybe? Maybe just a cheaper Liverpool defender as well. Wilson to Alvarez for free or roll? I'd probably roll. For most people with only one free transfer, I don't know. Does anyone completely disagree in the chat? Is there anyone with one free transfer that thinks that Isak or Wilson to Alvarez is a no-brainer? Do people think it's that obvious? I mean, I can do it for free and I can roll the other transfer, and I'm still not completely sure about it. Yeah, will Rashford start? No idea. my guess is kind of more hopefully, but I don't know. I just don't know. There will be people out there with the team news, though. Just share it. Just send me a quick DM, you know? Send me a quick DM. I'm doing Isak to Alvarez, and I've only got one free transfer. Nice. Alvarez is the man this week. I hope he is, because I'm bringing him in, but I don't know. I feel like Wilson to Isak's a lot more difficult to kind of justify. You're a proper fence sitter at times. Yeah, sure. I mean, sometimes there are just decisions that are close and you can make your own mind up, really. Like, how can I not sit on the fence about Rashford? I don't know if he's going to play. That's the only answer I can give you. My instinct is he probably will, but I have no idea. I suspect Trippier will start. The reason he's yellow flagged is because after the game, Eddie Howe said that there was an issue or something, but he didn't mention him in the press conference, which is why the flag hasn't been taken off. But presumably he'll be fine. I don't think it was like a massive knock or anything. So he'll probably be okay. I was going to say, I'm not sure I always sit on the fence. And then that's like sitting on the fence for a sitting on the fence comment. Doodaloo. Bench 1. Estepina, Matoma, Trippier, Wilson, Trent, Rashford. Trippier, probably. Start Raya or Kepa. I think you've got to start the double game weeker. Who do you think plays more minutes and scores more points as a combination? Mahrez, Isak, or Alvarez, Eze? I'm going to say Mahrez, Isak. I don't know, though. I'm sitting on the fence there. The reason I'm unsure is because if Isak plays on the left, I'm not convinced by him. And then is Mahrez definitely going to get 2 starts versus Alvarez only 1? Maybe. Eze's got a really good fixture. I think if Alvarez and Mahrez get the same minutes, then Alvarez and Eze might be better this week. But again, it's pretty close. Just going to stay up on my fence. It's comfortable up here. You can upgrade Matoma to Mahrez by downgrading your benched Trippier to a cheap defender. Yeah, I can also do Isak to one of the Brighton forwards as well. But I've got to use 2 free transfers. I've only got 1 transfer going into game week 38. Not sure about it. It is an interesting move, though, because it's one of those with kind of high risk and the reward could be great. And there is part of me that's tempted to do it, but don't think I'm going to end up doing that. Gundogan for Rashford and then minus... No, I wouldn't swap Rashford to Gundogan and then -4 to change Kepa to Pickford. No, I wouldn't do either of those things. We'll just roll the transfer, to be honest. Bruno in for Grealish or Rashford. I'm gonna say Grealish. I still think right now, with everything we know, there's maybe more chance of Rashford starting twice than Grealish. It just seems almost certain that Grealish will miss Brighton if they win the... if they beat... if the league is over after Chelsea. The league could be over before they even play Chelsea. Edison and Matoma to steal Mahrez. Again, I think that's a good move if Matoma gets benched and if Edison only plays once. It's really hard to know that before the deadline, of course, so I probably wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't use 2 free transfers to do that, but I don't think it's a bad move. If you really want Mahrez, don't hate it whatsoever. I'm not sure I'd be doing it for a hit. I think Matoma's really annoying. It'd be like... There's so many interesting things we could do if we knew he was definitely out. Like I saw on Fantasy Football Scout, Neil has predicted him to be benched and Buonanotte and Enciso to play on the wings. Which could happen for sure. It's worrying. I'm a bit worried about Matoma. I'm just not sure if I'm willing to take the risk and just not... I don't know, it might end up being that when we get to game week 38, the 2 free transfers are not even that useful. If everyone starts, it might be quite a boring game week. Salah to Bruno for a -4 hit. I'd struggle to do that, I think. Grealish to Mahrez. If you can do it for free, maybe. Raya to De Gea for a -4. I think Raya concedes today against Spurs. I'm going to say yeah. It's quite close. I'm going to say yeah. Nicola, thank you very much. Glyn, 11 months member. Thank you very much. Salah to Bruno for a -4. Unless you're going to captain Bruno, I'm not sure about taking -4s to remove Salah, to be honest, even for Bruno. Is there not another -4 you can take? Different player out to get Bruno. Best wildcard team. I haven't thought about wildcards for Game Week 30. Still got a wildcard in Game Week 37. Madness. Probably not too dissimilar to this team, to be honest. Maybe Steele in goal, Mahrez in midfield, Isak to someone else. Same team, but Solanke instead of a Newcastle forward. I've got 2 free chances. I need to make one. Any suggestions? Maybe just the Alvarez move. Yeah, like everyone else. You got enough money, I think, by the looks of it. Isak to Enciso and Willock to Anthony for a -4. Not enough funds for Fernandes and Chase him in league. I quite like that move because Willock's not going to play, right? So, yeah, I like that. I like that move. Would you do Salah to Bruno even for a hit? I've just been asked that like 3 or 4 times in a row. I don't think so. I miss the stress over the boredom of this deadline. I mean, it does feel a bit weird that there's only 1 game week to go. This is a big double game week, and most of us are really struggling to find interesting moves. I mean, I can't say there aren't any interesting moves. There literally is, right? That Isaac Matoma to Enciso Ferguson Enciso or Ferguson and Mahrez move is interesting and could pay off big. I don't know. I just really like those two transfers in 38. I mean, I guess if you've got 2 free transfers going into 38, you want maximum chaos in terms of benchings. You want some big players benched so you can react easier. Is it worth getting Bruno in for Rashford or taking a -4 to get Anthony and Mahrez in? I'm level on points in my league. Other guy has Bruno. I mean, if you're level on points and you've got other differences, you could just get Bruno in, to be honest with you. If you want to go differential and just go for the win this week, then that also works. But I think if you're level on points and you've got other players that are already different, that might be enough. And Bruno's great this week. Kepa and Rashford to De Gea and Bruno for a -4. Yay or nay? I would do Kepa to De Gea. If you can do it for free. Rashford to Bruno for a -4. I'm really not that convinced by it, to be honest. Really not that convinced. Like, if we knew about Rashford, it'd be a lot easier, obviously, to... Well, I'd probably be getting rid of him. If he doesn't... I don't know. I'd be tempted to get rid of him if he doesn't start against Bournemouth. But if he's in the squad, then you'd assume he would come off the bench, and then he's going to play Chelsea and Fulham. So it's probably not worth it. But something like Edison and Rashford to De Gea and Mahrez, I can do for free. That is quite tempting. Double Man United defence, though. What could go wrong? I don't think I'm comfortable saying that Rashford to Bruno is a good move unless we knew Rashford was out. It's honestly mad how many players might only play once. It's absolutely mad. Play Edison / Steele. I'd play Steele over Edison, I think. Robertson to Shaw or Gakpo to Mahrez. I think I'd be tempted to do both. But I'll say Robertson to Shaw. Salah Fernandes for a hit. No, I mean, I've answered that question a million times already now. I don't think I would take a hit to remove Salah this week. Can you chase down a 90-point lead? No. You're done, I'm afraid. That's the reality. You're done. Fazy, member for 2 months, thank you very much. 1 free transfer, 0.5 in the bank. No bench and have Willock and no Shaw. Should I just do Willock to Casemiro? Don't think so. Or Stones, Willock to Varane, Mac 10 -4. Or Dunk, Willock to Wan-Bissaka, Gross. I mean, probably Stones and Willock to Varane and Mac 10. But there's no guarantee Varane plays twice. But I think that move is better than Willock to Casemiro, to be honest with you. You could take a punt on Buonanotte, but again, no guarantee he starts twice. I'm not gonna do Isaac to Alvarez. It feels way too sideways, even given what's happened the last couple of games. I'd rather just get a double game weeker in if I'm gonna move him. Like, you could make up, like, in the last 2 game weeks, if you smash a few differentials and things go right for you, you go against some high-owned players. Like, you could make up, like, I think 30 points is possible in 2 weeks. I think you've got an outside chance of 40. Anything more is like a massive struggle. There was one year, I think, when Simon March won FPL, last day of the season, whoever was like chasing him down, captain Walcott, I think, if I remember correctly, and Walcott scored like a hat-trick or something, and they captained him, and hardly anyone owned him. And so that was a massive differential. In the end, he held on. But those kind of moves could work out. So last day of the season, right, who are people going to be looking at? They're going to be looking at Haaland versus Brentford, Salah versus Southampton. If you went for a different Liverpool attacker, or you went for a Harry Kane against Leeds, or a Son against Leeds, or something like that, like, they're the kind of captains you need to make up a big... You can't... I think if you're trying to make up like 40 plus points, you can't captain Haaland the next... Maybe this week because it's a double, but you can't captain him next week. You've got to go different, I think. and be prepared that you just lose it by doing that. You got a 124-point lead in your league. Like, you could celebrate that weeks ago. Isak to Martial or Trippier to Shaw. I think Shaw is a better option. Like, with that one, Shaw is a better option than Martial for the double, but Isak is probably a better player to get rid of. But I think I would just get Shaw. Not enough money for Bruno. Should I do Martinelli to Anthony? Have a good rank. Don't want a -4. Already have Mahrez. Yeah, I like Anthony as a punt. Ian, member for 6 months. Thank you very much. Missed the member stream, so not sure if asked. Mahrez to Bruno for free or roll. I would do Mahrez to Bruno, I think, but I would really want to keep Mahrez this week. So if there's another way you can get Bruno, even for maybe a -4, I'd be tempted. But I think Bruno is better than Mahrez for the last 3 weeks. Play Wilson or Grealish. I don't know. Can we really bench double game week players? I mean, it feels a bit crazy. I think you've got to play Grealish. Just hope he plays twice somehow. It's really tough because if Wilson plays number 9 again against Leicester, which does look likely, that's a big game. Flick a coin, honestly. If Grealish starts once, Wilson's better, and there's a high chance that Grealish only starts once. But would I really bench him if I owned him? Probably not. Probably not. I'm on a free hit. What are the premiums I shouldn't miss? Do you think De Bruyne is a must? I don't think De Bruyne is a must. I would have Salah and Haaland. And like, if you could afford it, then maybe get someone like Kane or Son in as a differential. But you're probably not going to be able to afford it, to be honest. Thoughts on Gundogan? I think like every other City player, probably only plays once. So like, he's fine if you've got him, but I wouldn't buy him. Dalot to Shaw and Grealish to Mahrez. No Rashford. I mean, like, Dalot might start twice, but again, it's nowhere near guaranteed, so I don't mind that move. Yeah, I quite like both of them, especially if it's for free. Why are people sleeping on Firmino? It's his last game at Anfield because he's not going to start, is he? I think that's probably why. I mean, I'm sure he's going to come on, 100% going to come on, but I don't think he's going to start. Liverpool are still chasing top 4. He's only just back from injury. Like, you can be sentimental, but probably not when there's top 4 to fight for. So Firmino comes on, gets a standing ovation. Happy days. I would put a lot of money on the fact that Firmino's not going to start. I don't see why it'd be more likely to start than be benched, to be honest with you. Again, could be wrong about that, absolutely. But I'd be surprised if he starts. Have Kepa and Raya. If Rashford is out, Rashford to Mahrez, Raya to De Gea. Yes, I like that. Yeah. We're probably not going to find out about Rashford though. Have Kepa and Raya. If Rashford is... Oh, yeah, sorry. I want to bring in Bruno. My only options are Foden out for a -4, Matoma out for a -8, or go without Bruno. I'd be a little bit tempted by Foden out for a -4, to be honest with you. Eze and Mahrez for Rashford and Matoma for free. Taking out 2 double game weekers for one that might play once and one that will definitely play once. I think it works if Matoma misses Southampton. So it depends how much you want to bet on that, I guess. Like, I guess I'd be more... If I had to put some money on Matoma being benched or starting, I'd probably put it on him being benched. Any updates on Solly March? I assume, presumably he's still out. But I've not seen anything, no. If Rashford to Anthony is essentially a -2, then why not? Because it's not definitely a -2, is it? That's the problem. I don't mind the Rashford to Anthony move, but you can't say it's a -2. What if Rashford plays twice? Oh my God, I wish we had Rashford news. And Enciso or Ferguson to replace Isak to fund Mahrez. Yeah, I think Enciso maybe... I think Enciso probably gets more minutes than Ferguson because he can play in more positions. And obviously we've seen Ferguson just not play 90 minutes at all this season. I don't know if Enciso has. Let me have a look. I think he has. Yeah, and Cisso's played 90 minutes once. He played 81 against Arsenal. So minutes-wise, I think he's better because he can play in more positions, like number 10, left or right, whereas Ferguson's only going to play as like a number 9. But I do think Ferguson starts against Southampton and against Villa. The fact he's Irish is kind of making me sway towards Ferguson. I think Enciso is probably the slightly better option. But I'm not saying I would definitely go for him. Like, if I was making the move, I might choose Ferguson, but Enciso probably makes the most sense. Captaincy-wise, for whoever asked earlier, obviously it's massively swung towards Haaland, 72%, Fernandes, 18%, Rashford, 3%, and someone else, 5%. I'm probably keeping Rashford. I don't know. Maybe I should be being a bit more aggressive. Like, what moves can I make for these two? I don't have any money in the bank. I've really got to get rid of Isak or Trippier to make any decent moves. I think I can just about afford Ederson to De Gea and Rashford. Yeah, I don't think Mahrez went up in price last night. Yeah, I can afford that with nothing in the bank. It's a little bit tempting. I've still got Matoma. Oh, dude, it's going to be a rubbish week, isn't it? It is just. I hate to be so negative. 57 minutes of delay. It's just going to be a rubbish week. The real risk is Matoma, not Rashford. Yeah, see, this is why I really like this move. If Matoma's going to miss Southampton, then Mahrez in, and Isak. Wait, hang on a second. 5.2 million. Why have I got 5.2 million? I thought I had much less than that. Like that. 2 free transfers. Matoma to Mahrez and Ciso in. That is a little bit tempting. But I'm probably playing 4-5-1 in game week 38, which I guess is not a huge issue. But it's 2 free transfers. So basically, Mahrez and Enciso, or Matoma and Alvarez, plus an extra transfer. That's what it comes down to. I don't know. I wish we knew if Matoma was out or not. It's not a guarantee that Matoma misses Southampton. He's not injured or anything. There's just speculation that he might get a rest, basically. Start Matoma or Trippier. Matoma. I did it. Sorry, Ahmed, member for 21 months. Thank you very much. I did a -4 for Shaw and Bruno in. Is it worth another hit for Alvarez in Freezak? No, I don't think so. I don't think I'd be doing that. Would you go Steele, Fernandes, and Greenwood for a -8? Steele, Fernandes, Greenwood, or Steele, Anthony, and Martial, Alvarez for a -8? Well, presumably you don't have to play Greenwood, do you? So probably just get Fernandes. And Ciso, Ferguson, Mac 10, Anundav, or Welbeck, maybe, but feels unlikely. What? Well, I'm not sure. What do you mean? Do you mean like Buonanotte not playing? The reason I think the Matoma benching is quite high risk is him and McAllister got benched against Wolves, and then Matoma's played 4 games in a row, and McAllister's played 3 and then got benched. So it just feels like now's the time to bench Matoma. If there's no Rashford news and you're keeping him, you've got to play him. Inexplicably, still have Havertz, keep or sell. I mean, there's no guarantee he starts, is there? Like, it could just be João Felix up front. I mean, if you've got 2 free transfers and nothing else to do, I'd probably move him on to like an Alvarez or something like that. Seems a bit more interesting. If you've only got 1 transfer, you can maybe just keep him and hope for the best, but unlikely to be a huge issue, really. Alvarez had 0 XG against Everton. Is he even worth it? I said this earlier. I don't think he's that exciting. I really don't. If I only had 1 move, I would just be keeping him. I would just not be bringing him in, to be honest with you. I think if you bring in Alvarez, you really want to get some minutes as number 9. Start Dalot with Solanke, Trippier and Wilson on the bench. Would I really start Dalot over Wilson? I think Dalot only starts once. I think a lot of it depends on whether Luke Shaw just now permanently plays left back, and if he does, Dalot's only starting once, I think. So I'd probably start Wilson ahead of him. It's not nice to bench double game week players, though. What an absolute mess this week is, honestly. Team the same except Kane over Isak, McAllister to De Bruyne, and Kane to Ferguson minus... team exactly the same except Kane over Isak. I'm so confused. Max De Bruyne and Kane to Ferguson minus 4. I wouldn't take a hit to get De Bruyne in and sacrifice Kane if that's what the move is. No, I don't think so. I don't think De Bruyne plays twice. That's basically the theme of this stream. This player will not play twice. This player will not play twice. This player will not play twice. You wish you had a free hit. I'm not even sure free hit's that exciting this week, is it? I mean, I guess you can just go without the doubts like Matoma and Rashford, so that could be quite nice, to be fair. Gakpo to Mahrez or De Bruyne to Bruno, or both costing me a minus 4. I would do De Bruyne to Bruno, I think, to be honest with you. I'd be tempted for a minus 4 for Mahrez if you're chasing. The ultimate punt captain. I think if you want a punt where it's not like just going crazy for the sake of it, I think Mahrez might be the one. I think Bruno, obviously Haaland's going to be most captain. Bruno will probably be second. Some people might look at Rashford still. I'd be looking at Mahrez if you want a differential. Like if you want a mega differential, don't get me wrong, like Bruno Fernandes, pretty much guaranteed to play both games, is definitely a differential captain in itself. But if you want an even lower owned one, I'd look at someone like Mahrez. Just seeing if there's any news, but it doesn't look like it. I don't know. I'm sat here like I'm just getting tempted by that Matoma to Mahrez move. Just getting more and more tempted. But imagine if Mahrez is benched against Chelsea. This is a killer straight away. Salah to Mahrez, Isak to Kane. Nah, I don't think so. Don't think I would do that. Peta share De Bruyne Ferguson to Estepinian Bruno Alvarez minus 4 share De Bruyne Ferguson. Estepinian Bruno Alvarez. Yeah, probably. I mean, taking out double gaming players has always got a chance to go wrong, but probably. Bench Wilson or Grealish. I don't think I can tell people to bench Grealish, even though I think he only starts once. I wouldn't like to bench Wilson, though, but I think you've got to play Grealish and hope he plays minutes in both. Grealish, March, Isak to Bruno, Eze, Alvarez for minus 4. Grealish, March, Isak to Bruno, Eze, Alvarez minus 4. Yeah, I think so. Would you also do Rare to steal for an additional minus 4? If not, don't need to get rid of March. So basically a minus 8 to get Eze, Alvarez, Bruno and steal. I mean, you're taking out March, who's not going to play. Grealish might start once. Isak, I mean, we might be overreacting a little bit with Isak, but I don't mind that minus 8, to be honest with you. You just did Matoma to Mahrez and Captain Mahrez. Oof, good luck. Good luck. Don't blame me if that goes wrong. I'm not saying that Mahrez is a guaranteed differential. Like really, if you want guaranteed minutes, you should definitely go Fernandes. Isak and Grealish to Bruno and Alvarez minus 4. I would do that, yeah. Salah to Bruno, Grealish to Mahrez, and March to Saka for a minus 4. If you can do Grealish March to Bruno and someone cheap, I would just do that instead for free and not sell Salah. But again, like I've said all week, if the only way to get Bruno is to sell Salah, I would probably do it, but I'd want the funds to reverse that next week, I think. I'm 28 points behind in my mini league. What do I do? Do I captain Rashford or Bruno and get in Alvarez for Isak? I have one transfer. I mean, you could do Isak to Alvarez. I think it's an okay move. You could go differential captain. 28 points. I mean, you can make up 28 points in 2 weeks, but you probably do need to do something different. So captaining Bruno might be your route. I think you've just got to do it knowing that Haaland's fully capable of scoring another 5 to 6 goals in this double. And if he does that and you haven't captained him, you could be even further behind and it's game over. But at some point, you've got to do something different. And if mini league's the only thing you're worried about, like you're not going to have to make. If you're not making videos next year where people are going to be asking you what your overall rank is, and it's just easier to have a decent rank, then I would just risk it. Honestly, lots of people asking about Firmino. I think the reality is he's probably not going to start, so I don't think I would go for him. Not a guarantee, but I just don't think it's going to happen. If top 4 was already gone or already secure, then yeah, then I'd be more interested. But I think top 4 is still open for them. They need to beat Villa. Trippier, Danny, Trippier to Diaz, Robertson, and Mitoma to Mahrez for a -4, or just Mitoma to Mahrez and hope Trippier plays. I would just do Mitoma to Mahrez and not take the -4, I think. Mitoma to Mahrez and Isak to Alvarez for a -4, chasing. Yeah. I mean, you already know yourself. You're chasing. There you go. Isak to Alvarez. If not, play Isak or Trippier. I would just probably play Trippier, I think, in that scenario. Chasing him in league. Salah to Bruno, Kepa to De Gea / Edison for a -4. I mean, yeah, I would get De Gea, not Edison though. I think when you're thinking about when you're chasing them in league, it's different to chasing overall rank because you know what the players, what the managers above you, which players they've got. So it's hard for me to say what the differential should be because I don't know what the rest of your, competition has. But in terms of overall rank, you don't necessarily just want to think about bringing in low owned players. You could also think about taking out some high owned players. That's why. Look, I'm not going to do it. I'm almost certain I'm not going to do it. But that's kind of what appeals about the Isak and Mitoma to Enciso and Mahrez move. You're not just bringing in low-owned players. In Mitoma, you're taking out a very high-owned player. And if he doesn't play against Southampton, that's quite a nice bet to make. So I would also think about that as well. But in the min league, it's completely different, right? If someone doesn't own Bruno Fernandes and you're trying to chase them down, well, suddenly Bruno Fernandes is a massive differential. So it's it's a bit different. I'm so tempted to get Mahrez in. I really am. I feel like I don't know. I mean, I'm 42k. How much can my rank really drop? Like, am I going to drop outside the top 100k? Probably not. Is it just worth it as a last Hail Mary? I just feel like I've got a team where I can easily have 2 free transfers next week. And I'd be more prepared to take those kind of punts in 38, I think. I just don't think I'm going to do it. De Bruyne to Mahrez, Foden for a -4 gives money for Kane in 38. I don't know. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just roll and hope that De Bruyne plays at least once. I think it's all well and good setting up the money for Kane, but you can also set that up next week with 2 free transfers. I'm not always, unless the move is going to give you massive benefit this week, I'm not really a fan of setting up money moves for a week. Because what if Kane gets injured? I know it's unlikely, I know, but what if he does? Start Rashford or Isak with no news. Honestly, if we don't get Rashford news, I think he's a pretty easy start. If you're not going to sell him, then I don't see why you wouldn't start him. It's freaking annoying, though, honestly. He misses game week 36, which, to be fair, actually benefited a lot of us. He's in training, and he has to be bloody ill. Poor guy. Can't catch a break at the moment. The Kit Kat Shuffler, thank you very much. Yogesh, start Stones or Trippier? Probably just start Stones and hope for the best. Would you replace Kepa to De Gea for a -8? No, probably not. I still have triple captain. Who's the best to go with to close a 30-point gap? The thing is, as I said on yesterday's video, triple captain in itself is a differential. So if Haaland gets 15 points and you just triple captain Haaland, well, you've closed a 15-point gap. So I'd be tempted just to use it on Haaland with 30 points, hope that he goes big, and if he does, then decide how different you have to go next week. Isak and March to Alvarez and Mac 10. Yeah, I like that. Trippier to Stones and bench him if Rashford out. No. I wouldn't swap Trippier to someone just to bench him if it's not benefiting you any other way. Don't think so. Varane and Bruno in for Trippier and Odegaard. Yes, but again, Varane not guaranteed to play both games, I would say. Mahrez short in for Grealish, Ake out from -4. Yes, probably. Gakpo and March to Anthony and Eze. Yes. Captain Bruno or Haaland. Haaland's the better option, I would say. But I think you already know that. Bench one out of Matoma and Ciso and Wilson. Without news about Matoma, I think you've got to bench Wilson and just hope for the best, knowing there is a chance Matoma gets benched against Southampton. Would you consider a -4, Isak to Alvarez and Grealish to Mahrez, or only go for one and avoid the -4? I would just do one, to be honest. Which one? Probably Grealish to Mahrez, I think. Rashford to Fernandes for -8. I've got a 14-point lead. No, I don't think so. I don't think I would do Rashford. Again, though, I think Bruno's better than Rashford, but -8s to remove Rashford just sounds a bit crazy to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Would you play Edison or Steele if you had both? Steele, Rashford to Bruno if chasing someone with Bruno. I mean, getting Bruno in is one of the most high priority moves this week. So I don't hate it. I don't think I would do it for a hit. Trossard or Odegaard. I mean, Odegaard's ownership is going to be pretty low owned in the top 10k, top 100k. But I guess Trossard's even lower. So if you're chasing, I would go Trossard. Good mid-level differentials for each position. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Kivior for Arsenal. It's not that exciting. I don't know if there are many good defensive attacking differentials, to be honest with you. Midfield, maybe Eze, Trossard, I guess. Forwards, and Ciso, Ferguson. Alvarez will be quite low owned. Danny Ings this week, but I don't know about next week. I don't know if it's a guarantee that West Ham rotate either this week, but yeah, Ings possibly. Max Kilman. Not sure about that. I haven't thought about differentials really. A huge amount. Jared Bowen, maybe. Zinchenko to Shaw, Willock to Fernandes, Zinchenko to Shaw, Rashford to Fernandes for a -4. I would just probably, if you can just play someone else instead of Zinchenko, I would just do Willock to Fernandes, I think. So many people are thinking about doing Rashford to Bruno, and like there are scenarios where that's a good move, but if Rashford starts against Bournemouth, it gets tough then. It gets tough. I have Haaland, Rashford and Bruno. I'm chasing 40-point lead. Who should I captain? I do have triple captain. I'd be tempted to triple captain Bruno and just hope for the best. Again, though, knowing it can go massively wrong. Mitoma to Bruno and Isak to Enciso for a -4. Yes, I think I would do that. Bruno worth a -8. Possibly, depends who you're selling. Rashford, Isak, Trippier to Bruno, Alvarez, Bruno. Rashford, Isak, Trippier to Bruno, Alvarez, Bueno, -8. Rashford, Isak, Trippier. Or just ease that to Alvarez, play Rashford. Leader has Bruno. I don't mind that -8, but again, I'm not sure about selling Rashford for such a big hit. I think ease that to Alvarez is probably okay. Jandra can also do March Ray Tamara steal for free, but then no Bruno and Alvarez. I wouldn't massively worry about not owning Alvarez. I think he's a perfectly fine move this week, but I don't think he's a be scared type of player if you don't own him, honestly. Yeah, I can't remember what your -8 was, but March Ray Tamara steal for free sounds pretty good. Keeping Grealish and ease out, I think that sounds okay, to be honest. I wouldn't start worrying about not owning Alvarez, honestly. Is anyone... Okay, I'm going to put this as a poll because... is Rashford to Fernandes worth a -4? What do the people say? What do the people say? Oh, sorry, I've clicked the wrong button. I'm just not sure about that at all. Nobody knows about Rashford. Nobody knows about Rashford. I say no one knows about Rashford. Some people know about Rashford. It's whether or not they want to tell us this early. Why is Rashford causing us such a headache for 2 weeks running? Start Saka or Isak. Saka. Start White or Botman. White. Get Mahrez. Yeah. Isak to Martial and Saka to Mahrez for a -4. I'd be tempted, especially if you're chasing. Alex H, 9 months, thank you very much. I'm 30 plus behind in my win league, planning March and Isak to Mahrez, captain and Ciso. Is it crazy to also do Rashford and Trippier to Eze and Shaw for -8? I don't think you need the -8, to be honest. I think the other moves are fine. I like it. I like it. Shakalaka Mekaleka, 25 months, thank you very much. Salah going for top assist, 3 away now from De Bruyne. Nice. I mean, Salah, if you can keep him, it's just great to keep. Isak to Martial, punt, don't have Bruno. Yes, you could take that punt. Willian or Luis Diaz, or shall I get Madueke? I've definitely pronounced that wrong. I wouldn't go near Chelsea's hackers, I don't think. Willian or Luis Diaz. I think if Luis Diaz was going to guarantee to be played twice, then I would get him. I'd maybe just get Eze instead of both of them, by the way. But I guess Willian is probably more likely to start. I don't think he's got an issue, has he? I'm just looking now. Am I really saying Willian over Luis Diaz? I guess for starts, I probably am. One free transfer for 37, free hit available. Better to rank chasing 37, 38 on use. Overall rank 700k. Squad equals triple. Newcastle, Wilson, Brighton double. Liverpool, Man United, Rashford, Bruno, Ray. I mean, you could free hit, I guess, this week. You know, if you've got Matoma, for example, you could just go against Rashford. You could get Mahrez. You could get one of the Brighton forwards in. It's hard. I don't know. I don't know whether free hit this week or next week is better. But I think if you've got a few players that you're not guaranteed to start twice, and there's players that you think will, I'd maybe choose it this week. In terms of a transfer, you'd have to come up with some ideas there. I'm not 100% sure who you should go for. Obviously, you only need them for this week, so maybe taking out a risk for someone that's more likely to play this week than use the free hit in 38. The only thing I'll say about free hit 38, I do think it's kind of interesting, but you got to be prepared for the stress last minute waiting for team news. That's the only issue. Rashford, Ten Hag wouldn't risk Rashford today knowing he'd be needed to lead the line against Chelsea on Thursday and then 3 days later at Fulham. But he's been training, so it's just illness. Like, it's not like he's unfit. He's just not well. So if he's well now, he can play, He could probably play against Bournemouth. We just don't know. We don't even know if he travelled. I don't know about selling him. I don't know about selling him. The thing is, I could do like Isak to Alvarez and Rashford to Anthony or something like that. Take a bit of a punt there, but I think for me, for my team, if Rashford's out, it's actually quite tricky to move him. Like I'd have to use 2 free transfers. And to get Anthony, I've got to do Isak to Alvarez. Or to get Mahrez, I've got to do Edison to De Gea. And if Edison starts twice, that's not really that exciting. In Twitter, there was a video who come to board. Yeah, I fully get it, right? There's a video that shows that Rashford didn't travel on the bus. It doesn't mean that he couldn't have travelled separately. He may just not have travelled, right? And he might be completely out. We just don't know. We just do not know. Ivan Sam, 1 month member, thank you very much. Willock to Bruno, Trippier to Tarkowski, interesting. Isak to Enciso. Do you know what? I don't mind that. I'd be tempted by Patterson over Tarkowski. LFC Mike, -4, Watkins. Oh, where's that gone? Oh, gee, there's so many super chats. I'm never going to get to all these before the deadline. I'm just telling you that now. Like, there's nothing. I have no news about Rashford. Zero news about Rashford. I wish I did. I could just spend the next 31 minutes saying no news on Rashford. No news on Rashford. No news on Rashford. No news on Rashford. Still no news on Rashford. Yeah, no idea about Rashford. Yeah, Rashford, no idea. Rashford, yeah, he might start, might not start. I don't really know. Am I a millionaire? Yeah, about $1 million a week. About $1 million a week. -4, Watkins to Alvarez and Salah to Bruno. I mean, Salah out for a -4 doesn't sound great. But sure, if you're chasing, why not? Captain Fernandez as well. Tim, thank you very much. Richard, wildcard and bench boost left, 50 points off first. Which chip to play? I mean, only you can answer that, right? I mean, presumably you wildcard this week and you bench boost next week. But it's not something I've looked into whatsoever. If you've got a good bench this week, you could just use it and then use your wildcard as a free hit in game week 38. But only you can decide that. I mean, not many people leave their wildcard and bench boost this late, so it's not something I've really thought about. But my assumption is you wildcard this week and bench boost next week. Depends how good your bench is now. Play Gakpo or Isak. I mean, if you need to chase, I'd play Gakpo. Batman, thank you very much. Would you bring in Steele and Gundogan for a -8? Probably not. I wouldn't bring Gundogan in for a hit. Why not Isak to Wilson if Alvarez plays 1 at number 8? Yeah, it just feels a bit sideways. Just not a move I want to make, to be honest. I mean, it could work out if Wilson plays again, but I don't think it's that exciting. It's not a very exciting move right now, don't think. And if they wrap up top 4 against Leicester, then they might rotate against Chelsea away anyway. So I've missed the boat on Wilson, I think. Stones, Grealish, Isak to Lindelof, Mahrez or Gundogan, Alvarez for a -8. I'm not convinced that is worth a -8, to be honest with you. Like, Stones, Grealish and Isak will all play at least once. Grealish to Fernandez, Watkins to Alvarez, Edison Steele for a -4. Yeah, I'd probably do that one, yeah. Muhammad Ali quotes, thank you very much. Mattman, swap Trent and Dallo for Robertson, I guess that is, and Shaw for a -4. Selling Trent to fund Luke Shaw and getting Robertson. I mean, Robertson's not quite as good as Trent. I think I would just risk Dallo starting once and not take the -4. Andy, thank you very much. Bradley, bench Rashford so I can play Haaland, Wilson, Alvarez up top. I wouldn't bench Rashford for Wilson, I don't think. Grealish to Bruno, Henry to Shaw, Watkins to Greenwood -8. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Rashford, Tony, thank you very much. Rashford to Bruno, Tony to Enciso for a hit. I'm still not convinced about Rashford to Fernandes for a hit. 38% of people that have voted have said yes. I mean, I just don't. I don't think you can do Rashford out for a hit unless you've got news that he doesn't start. I got to be honest though, the closer we get to the deadline with no news, it is making me a bit worried. It is making me a little bit worried. I don't think we're going to get news though. Unfortunately. Which Newcastle midfielders are out this week? I think Longstaff's still out. I think Willock's going to be out as well. Presumably Anderson will just play. Someone must know. Someone must know about Rashford. Imagine if Rashford starts both and Matoma starts both, and in the end it's just a fantastic double game week 37. Rashford not spotted getting off the team bus at Bournemouth, correct, yeah. Keep Grealish, Mahrez or Rashford. I'd keep Mahrez and Rashford, I think. If you need to sell one, I'd probably sell Grealish. Matt Mann swapped Trent and Dallo for Robertson and Shaw for -4. I think I already answered that one. Isak and Trippier are out for Jesus and Tarkowski in -4. Nah, I don't think they're worth a -4 out. Unless it's for double game weekers. Isak to Alvarez or Isak and Matoma for Mahrez and Enciso. Well, I don't think I'm not even convinced I'm going to do that for free, let alone a -4. So I'd just do Isak to Alvarez. Raya to De Gea or play Kepa and have 2 free transfers. Play Kepa, I think. I mean, De Gea is a pretty nice upgrade on Kepa, but goalkeeper transfers is just so boring. I'd probably just rather have the 2 frees. Hope for the best. Hear me out. Oh, Isak to Alvarez, Grealish to Fernandes for -4. I'd probably do that. Hear me out. Trippier, Greenwood to Alvarez, Kivior, bench Matoma. I probably wouldn't do that. Like, I do think I think it's a fair guess that to assume that Matoma could be out for Southampton at home, but it ain't a guarantee. I wouldn't start benching him. I wouldn't start making moves to bench him. Phasing me again. With 0.5 in the bank and no bench and Willock injured, who would you transfer out of Dunk, Trent, Stones to upgrade Willock? Stones. Is Mac 10 the best upgrade? Probably, unless you got more money. Does Trent to Shaw make sense? I mean, Shaw is better than Trent this week, I would say. So yes, I guess so. Trent to Estepinian and Willock to Anthony. I think that's a good move. I wouldn't want to bench. I wouldn't want to get rid of Trent, but I think that's a pretty good move, to be honest with you. I think Trent to Estepinian and Willock to Anthony is a pretty nice move. He's not an Bruno a massive problem. He's got good stats, but the FPL points don't back it up. I don't think it's a massive issue, but like it depends. Like, he's owning Fernandes this week. Okay, yeah, of course it is, because it depends how you can get him in. Trippier on your bench, reason behind this. So I'm probably going to sell Isak. Haaland possibly... Yeah, Haaland could possibly be benched. Haaland could possibly be benched. Yeah, I've seen the tweet. I've seen the tweet from Heisenberg. New sort... Like, the product... He says he trusts it. I do trust it personally. Just news source and stuff is very like I get stuff DM'd to me all the time. I put it this way, right? I got told by an account that covers Newcastle with 20,000 or 30, 40,000 followers that Wilson was benched for Brighton. So this is why I don't tweet and share everything I get sent, because imagine if that was before the deadline and I tweeted it, what would happen? So it's hard to know that. If he thinks he trusts it, then I guess you got to take that for what it is. But it's, I mean, I got like I said, I got sent something which I thought I could trust, and it turned out to be wrong. Rashford didn't travel with the squad. Is believed to have travelled down separately. His fitness will be decided this morning after falling ill yesterday. Oh. Do I rate Gundogan captain? Not really. Not really. Everyone's sending me that tweet now. I've seen it. I've seen the tweet. The thing is, if I've got to get rid of Rashford, I don't think there's a good way. I just don't think there's a good way for me to do it. What if he's on the bench for Bournemouth? This is where Evan Edison's even more annoying. Isak to Alvarez. I could get Anthony in, but this is going to be a tricky 20 minutes now. It's going to be a tricky 20 minutes. Start 2 and Cecil, Alvarez or Matoma. Good question. Why do you have all those 3 players? You've got to start all 3 of them, surely. I say Matoma and Alvarez. No, Matoma and I think in Cecil will play against Southampton. I think you got to play him. Probably play the 2 Brighton. Oh, we're going to get so much rubbish about Rashford now. We're going to get so much rubbish about Rashford. The thing is, if he's travelled, then even if he doesn't start, he's going to be on the bench, right? If he's travelled. So he could still be worth it anyway. Oh, why is this so tricky? Why is this so tricky? I just don't really want to use 2 free transfers, but I could do. I could do Rashford to Anthony, Isak to Alvarez. I wish there was a good... like, basically, this is the predicament that I'm in. I'm 0.3 million off Rashford to Mahrez. Now, I could do, like, Trippier to Kivior and then just play Isak. But I can't go Isak to Alvarez because I've already got 3 City then. So the other move would just be to get Anthony and then to get Alvarez, like, which is already planned. I just don't know if it's worth it. If Rashford plays the final 2 games, he's definitely better than Anthony. And I just feel like it's almost a guarantee that he plays Chelsea. If he's ill, he can recover from that, right? Yeah, he hasn't played very well, but we know what he's capable of. That's kind of more of the issue, all right? Anthony will have better minutes over Rashford. Maybe for Bournemouth, yeah. Outside of that, maybe not quite so much. I'm just... One game Rashford is better than 2 game Anthony. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Rashford to Mahrez is so tempting though. But it's not the thing. I think the issue is it's not like Mahrez is an absolute guarantee either. I've got to make up 0.3 million. I guess if I get rid of Rashford, I have got a spare Man United slot. So I could do Edison to De Gea, or I could do Trippier to another Man United defender. But it'd have to be Varane or Lindelof, and I'm not really sure about that. Do. Oh, what's this tweet now? This is hang on. Attacking football. Isn't this Paddy's new thing? I would not sell Marcus Rashford this week. He would likely start against Chelsea in 37 and Fulham in 38. From what I know, he is not a sell, but he is not a captaincy option. I can't share more than this. I mean, to me, that sounds like that sounds to me like he's probably not starting, but isn't necessarily completely out. Oh, Rashford, if you're not starting, do we just... I don't know. You can go... Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point. I forgot about our good friend Martial, who will definitely not start. The thing is, it's just... This is the problem with, like, selling Rashford. You're just going into... Like, you're bringing in Martial and Mahrez. They might only start once. But that is tempting. That is tempting. I forgot about Martial. It's just 2 free transfers for 2 players that might not even start. It's just, I don't know. It just, none of it feels that exciting. I've already sold Rashford, a bit injured, a bit sick. Not playing the first game is likely, so I'm not procrastinating. He's gone. Fair play. Attacking football. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they know. I am now guessing that Rashford is benched, or just out completely. I don't know if he's going to start. I don't know that for sure, by the way, but it looks kind of likely. Martial Mahrez is just asking for absolute disaster, though. It really is. Like, Man City could go just full on play the kids against Brighton. It might not even be a second string team. It might be like a third string. How would you feel if Rashford comes on and scores? Well, I mean, it wouldn't be great, would it? I guess the other thing is I've got to also stick... These 2 players also have to help me out in game week 38, and I just don't think they do. I think I'm going to do Isak to Alvarez and just write this game week off. I think so. By the way, I wouldn't put too many more super chats in now. We've only got 40 minutes left. There's already loads there, and there's loads of stuff going on with Rashford, so I'm a bit distracted. Do I think Wan-Bissaka plays both? Probably not. I wouldn't put much money on it. Selling Isak or Wilson for Alvarez or Martial. Isak to Alvarez probably. Do you think Steele starts both? I think he probably will, yeah. I mean, there's something going on with Sanchez, right? He's not even been in the last 2 squads. He's obviously not happy about the situation. Do you think 2 free transfers? Thinking Matoma and Isak to Bruno and Enciso. Love that. Can start either one of Ake, Trippier, Botman, or do Ake to Akanji, Stones. No, I wouldn't sell Ake for -4. I'd just start Trippier. Is Raya to Edison worth a -4? Probably not. Foden and Wilson to Fernandes and Alvarez -4. Yeah, I think I would do that. I've Haaland, Grealish and Ederson. Not a fan of Grealish. Thinking of doing Watkins to Alvarez and Grealish to not sure who. I've got 3 Brighton and Man United already. Mahrez, I guess, right? If you've got... Oh, you can't do that. I'd maybe just keep Grealish because otherwise you'd be selling into a single game week player. I think I'm gonna keep Rashford. If I could do Rashford to Anthony in one move, I would be tempted. I would be tempted to do that, but I can't afford it. And so any move I make is just not... I mean, I could do Isak. I just don't want to use both my free transfers. And if Rashford only ends up being on the bench, then he'll come on for sure. And so then he's got 2 home games. Not great. Not great. I don't think he's starting. I don't think he's starting. Oh, it's a shame it's not the early kickoff. I feel like we'd almost certainly get the news before the deadline. Foden and Wilson to Fernandes and Alvarez -4. Yeah, I'd probably do that. I've Haaland, Oh, I've done that one already. Grealish to Mahrez or Isak to Alvarez. Got 2 frees. Both. I guess you can only do what... Isak to Alvarez. Matoma, Isak to Mahrez and Ciso for a hit. I think if you're chasing, you could do that, yeah. But otherwise, I probably wouldn't. Dallo to Trent and Salah to Fernandes. I think Trent and Fernandes is better than Dallo and Salah for sure. So yeah, I'd probably do that for free. I wouldn't start overthinking it, right? If just because Rashford doesn't play, it doesn't make Bruno massively worse. Isak to Alvarez or March to Max 10. Isak to Alvarez or March to Max 10. Well, bench Trippier. Probably Isak to Alvarez and play Trippier. How about Gundogan captain? RPB Music 30 months member. Thank you very much. I think he only starts once, so probably not. Lindelof or Wan-Bissaka. I'd probably take Lindelof out of the 2. What would be a good free hit team? I mean, probably not something too dissimilar to what you see on screen, apart from I'd probably go for the Brighton forward, Ferguson or Enciso, and I'd probably put Mahrez in, and I'd probably go for Anthony over Rashford, something like that. Not too many differences. Which Brighton striker of the 4 to use? I would go for Enciso, I think. Are we sleeping on Sancho? Got more points than Anthony if Rashford not in, Sancho plays. Yeah, but if Rashford comes back, then Sancho minutes are definitely worse than Anthony. That's what I would say. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't. Let's just say I'm starting to get a bit more confident that Rashford's not starting. But I will say I've not had that like sense. But just as someone said to me, reading through the lines, it just feels like he's not starting now. Just feels like he's not starting. I wish I knew for sure. Like there is someone that's the person that's given me like the Man City news. They do often get Man United news, but they don't get it this early. That's the problem. It's 3 o'clock game. Oh, it's so annoying. I feel like it's quite I don't know. I feel like it's probably worth getting rid, but no, there's no good move. Think of Game Week 38. Think of 2 free transfers. Oh, next week's going to be carnage. Do you know how much early team news there's going to be? So much. So much. Ederson to De Gea and Rashford to Mahrez or Isak to Alvarez. Well, I'm probably going to do Isak to Alvarez. I'm in the exact same boat. And a Kanji to Trent for a -4? Probably not. I'd probably just play Kanji and hope for the best. You know he won't start, but it's hard to accept it. It's not that. It's just genuinely, I just don't think it's... Like, if Mitoma doesn't start, right, for example, let's say we got word about that, I'd be very tempted to sell him. But I think Rashford doesn't start. I kind of want to just keep hold of him. The Man City team that started against Madrid will be the team for the final. I expect rotation, but surely not before they got the league one, right? I mean, look, there's obviously we're all expecting like the normal team against Chelsea and then loads of rotation. It might be they rotate against Chelsea if Arsenal beat Nottingham Forest. Whether or not they would leave it that late for team changes, I don't know. They could just play their full strength team in both games. Who knows with Pep Guardiola? But I think it's likely we get a pretty good normal team today. Start Isak or Wilson. I wouldn't transfer Wilson out for Alvarez for -4. If you only got one free transfer, I think. Diaz or Trent to play alongside Estupiñán and Shaw. Yeah, I answered this yesterday. I think I would play Trent. I don't think it's a fun decision, but I think I would play Trent. Winning my min league by 20 points. Should I play it safe and roll with Edison, Trent, Lusana, Haaland captain? I mean, what do you mean play it safe? Like, if you've got a move that's a good upgrade, you could do it, like a Grealish to Mahrez maybe. But if you've only got one free transfer, that is definitely a team that you could roll, especially with a lead. Yeah, I think you'd be fine. Anthony to Rashford. I think if you've got Rashford or Anthony, you probably just keep whichever one you've got and just go from there. Alvarez or Martial punt. I'm chasing. I think. I don't know. I think I'd side with Alvarez because Martial's probably going to get 2 starts as well, and Martial probably starts against Bournemouth. I think I said Alvarez earlier, but I'd be tempted to say Martial. The only thing is, if Man United win both games in 37, I would fully expect Martial to miss Fulham last day. I just hate the idea we're going to bring in Alvarez. He's going to be benched against Chelsea. It feels so unexciting. I got to make my transfers. I've got to make my transfer. We're only 6 minutes left. What if there's like a? What if the servers don't hold up? Where is... De Bruyne rumoured personal issue. Yeah, possibly. Just go for the more exciting move. I'm gonna convince myself that 2 free transfers in 38 will be where the exciting moves happen. But wait until I just do something like Edison to Ramsdale and Alvarez to, I don't know, a striker that starts. Would you buy Rashford? I'd be tempted to not buy him right now if he's not going to start. Just seems like there's, you know the saying, there's no smoke without fire. It just feels like Rashford's probably going to be not start. Hopefully benched if you're going to keep him. Oh yeah, Isak will start. I'm not really worried about that. Kepa and Robertson to Edison and Diaz for a -4. I don't think so, no. Isak and Botman to Alvarez and Shaw -4. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Bench Trent, Stones, Rashford. Probably Jonathan Stones. Kepa and Salah for Edison and Bruno for a -4. I wouldn't do the goalkeeper switch. I would just do Salah to Bruno for free, I think. Benching Wilson in favour of Bruno. Yeah, sounds fair. With Rashford, Matoma, McAllister and Salah, or benching one of the Brighton players. No, I'd just bench Wilson in that, I think. Chasing 60 points, what would you do? Martial and Mahrez for Rashford and Isak and Captain Mahrez. Yeah, you've got to do something crazy like that. 60 points is really difficult to make up. Or Matoma and Isak to Mahrez and Alvarez. I'd go the Martial route, I think. I got to make my transfers. 4 minutes. I think I've just got to... I think I'm just going to keep Rashford. I'm going to keep Rashford and I'm going to... Is the Man United game on TV later? No, it's the Liverpool game. I'm just going to do Isak to Alvarez, I think. There's a part of me that thinks I should just sell Rashford and just take the risk. Like, I'm 40k. Who cares? Look at the symmetry, by the way. Look at the symmetry of that team. It's beautiful. That's me one free transfer, I think. I mean, is Rashford to... Like, okay, here's the question, right? Let's say Rashford gets benched. Let's say Rashford is benched against Bournemouth. Is Rashford benched and and 2 free transfers in 38 the better solution? Or is Anthony and 1 transfer in 38 better? I think the answer is Rashford and 2. I think the answer is Rashford and 2. I'm going to regret not having Mahrez, I've got a really bad feeling that move that Praz brought to me yesterday, the Isak to Enciso, Mitoma to Mahrez, could have really paid off. Not sure you understand the symmetry. Well, I mean... Yeah, okay, symmetry is the wrong word, but you know what I mean, don't you? Don't pick on me, alright? It's 10:57. I'm tired. Make sure to give the stream a like if you're enjoying it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. No, I can't get Mahrez now. I can't get Mahrez. It's too late. I've got Alvarez now. I've made my bed. I just don't... I've got a bad feeling about Game Week 37. I really do. Captain Bruno. I'm going to captain Haaland. To be honest with you, boring as that is. Apologies if there's some super chats I've missed. I'll try and get to as many as possible in the next 2 minutes, but it's going to be difficult. Do I start Forster or Raya? Probably Forster. I need to take a hit for a bench boost. Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, and Eze will get Shaw in the midfielder for 4.7. Probably Eze and Lindelof, I think. Mitoma to Mahrez, 1 free transfer, or roll and have 2. Probably roll and have 2, although Mahrez could be good. As someone that now isn't buying Mahrez, I'd love it if he only started once. You could still smash it, though. If I had the chance, I would have done the Enciso and Mahrez move. Yeah, maybe I should have chased. I'm hoping there's... The thing... maybe I should have done it. I mean, the thing is, the only way that 2 free transfers is definitely better in 38 is if there's lots of chaos. If there isn't, then 1 free transfer is probably fine. Because chasing in a double is probably worth more points. So maybe I should have done it. I don't know. There's just something about I've got so many players in this team that are probably only going to start once. Like Alvarez, Rashford, Mitoma, Edison. Like four of my doublers might only play once. Just got a bad feeling about this game week. Kepa, Rashford, Isak to Alvarez, Mahrez, De Gea -8. Maybe, yeah, it could work out. I'm not completely convinced though. Less than a minute to go. Get your moves locked in. I'm just checking now. Would you do Edison to De Gea and Rashford to Mahrez or Isak? Would you do... even if I answer this, he's not going to have enough time to react. Would you do Edison to De Gea and Rashford to Mahrez or Isak to Alvarez and Akanji to Trent, both for -4? I'd probably do the first move, but it has to be one of them. Right, are we locked in? Not yet. We're nearly locked in. Who would you pick as second Man United defender? Probably Lindelof. But wouldn't be that happy about it. Start Grealish or Kane? Kane, maybe. Are we locked in? We are locked in. Apologies, Trina, Harrison, Lars, Greg, Kange, Kesh Studios. I think I missed all those messages. I apologise. Hectic. Yeah, not looking good for a Rashford start. In the end, free hit was probably quite good this week. Get rid of Mitoma, get rid of Rashford. Happy days. Oh, I should have done the Mahrez move, shouldn't I? Nick, member for 4 months, thank you very much. Oh my god, you can't be serious. I was fixing team symmetry and the game locked in Captain Wilson instead of Haaland. You can't mess about with symmetry. Oh my days. Get that captain locked in. That is madness. Also, this, as someone said, this isn't symmetry. If it's not symmetry, what is it? What do we call this? Is it just aesthetics? Just nice aesthetics? I'm pretty sure Rashford's bench, by the way, so whoever's saying he starts. Well, not bench, but I don't think he's starting. He might not be in the squad. Pretty boring game week for me, I think. Honestly, like in terms of the moves, I mean, it might turn out to be brilliant. I hope it does. But one free transfer, bringing in Alvarez. Don't even think he's going to start twice. Captain Haaland. Oh my days. Yeah, Rashford could score off the bench. Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, it's not symmetrical, right? Because obviously, if it was symmetrical, then the Brighton players on the right on the left would also be on the right. You know, that's symmetry, right? Is it, or is that just? How am I this old and I'm a bit confused about what symmetry is? It's the same on both sides, right? Yeah, so it would have to be. You can't have Brighton players on one and Man United on the other. But I think everyone knows what you mean, right? You know what I mean. Can't wait for Mahrez to obviously outscore Rashford based on the pictures we've seen, and when it happens, we'll get called hindsight merchants. I mean, I wouldn't say it's obvious that Mahrez outscores Rashford even if he doesn't start today, because it's not a guarantee that Mahrez starts twice. But if I could only pick one on a free hit, I would pick Mahrez. It's not, so there you go. No hindsight there. Don't worry, I'm a doctor and my partner had to tell me what a primary colour is. Honestly, part of it is just because I'm streaming. And so like, honestly, sometimes I'm recording videos and I'll say something which I know is correct. And my brain will just say, are you 100% sure that's correct? Because if not, there's going to be a bunch of comments about it. So I'll stop and then I'll check it. I'll be like, yeah, it was correct. You didn't need to re-record that. It might just be a name, or it might be like, I might say, oh, when they played this team. And then I think, oh, have I got the team right? And I guess I should make sure I'm correct. But that's kind of the problem. Look at that in capital letters. Template follower. Nice. Yeah, make sure to give the stream a like if you haven't already. Thanks for joining me. Obviously, one more deadline stream this season. One more week to go. I'm looking forward to it. Got Gundogan instead of Mahrez. Was that a bad move? I would have bought Mahrez personally, but let's see. So thank you for joining me. Next deadline will be on Sunday. I'm probably going to take Monday off again because I'm enjoying taking all these Mondays off. And there's a longer week this week until we've got to make our decisions. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, the matches... Have we got Monday games there? Oh yeah, Monday is Newcastle versus Leicester, where I've got no players playing in. So that's going to be annoying because Wilson's going to smash it again. And obviously the game week doesn't end till Thursday. So I'll probably do team selection on Friday. I don't know if there'll be a huge amount of videos this week. No, there probably will be. There's a lot to talk about, differentials and stuff like that. We'll see what happens. I like Anthony. If Rashford had been out this week, I would have been buying Anthony. I would have taken 2 moves if Rashford was definitely out of both games. So I like him. If anyone took a punt on him. All right. I'm done. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to give the stream a like. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It would be much appreciated, even this late in the season. I'll be back at I'll be back on Sunday. We'll do a knee-jerk stream. The last I say it now, all this week. The last knee-jerk stream, the last team selection. But we will do a stream on Sunday. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully things go well for me in FPL. If you've got the same team as me, I hope you do well too. But yeah, I'm off. Yeah, I'm off basically. There's no other way to end this. I'm going. See you later.